Greetings from the medicine cabinet. It is Chill Pill here, and I'm back to talk about my EP, This Is War. I'm sorry that it's been such a long time coming, but I've been moving to the States from Malaysia, and I've been in between computers, so I haven't been able to actually film this video. I actually tried filming this video once, and then the audio ended up terrible, and so I had to refilm it. Good thing I got this thing. But I hope that for the past month, you've enjoyed my EP, This Is War. For those of you who are new to this channel, I do an EP vlog every single time I post an EP, and in this EP vlog, I go through some of the little details, like little production details, and some of the behind the scenes, like where I got the inspiration and things like that, where I got the names from, and it's overall a pretty good time. And so let's get it started for This Is War. How did I come up with the name for the EP, This Is War? This EP name was actually created before I made the track This Is War. Coming into making this EP, I came out of a really bad case of writer's block. I just couldn't get songs together. Whatever I made, I was very uninspired by and ended up deleting. I didn't get very far in my projects. I had kind of that, syndrome where the symptoms are me just opening a blank project, staring at it for a good 5 minutes, and then closing it again. And then I realized that I hadn't actually branched out a whole lot in my sound design and tried out some new synths that I had at my disposal. And so I decided to start trying some really new things and new synths and things like that. And as I kept going, it ended up that I was starting up on the project that ended up being Ambush, and after that, it was just flowing out of me and I was getting a bunch of music done. I wanted to try something different because in my other EPs, I tended to have a softer feel to them. It wasn't since Just Take the Ice Cream EP and Journey LP that I was really including many heavy things in my EPs. And there was a more emotional side / fun melodic side to many of these collections of songs. And so I decided this time that I was going to do something different and go a heavier route. And I was realizing that the more I made these, it kind of had a theme of war. And so I decided to try and make a war-themed EP. And that's how This Is War got started. And now let's go into each of the tracks and see a little bit of behind the scenes on them. The first track is Come None, Come All. It's a very interesting one. I started out with a lot of experimentation on this one. Like I said, Ambush was the first one that I worked on, so Come None, Come All came after I started working on Ambush, and it was actually based around those first piano chords that you hear, the C minor, B minor, C minor, D minor chord progression. I started working on that kind of carnival themed thing, pulling in an organ and just getting a really creepy atmosphere going, and then I did some more experimentation to get the drop. I believe I worked with Massive for the basses in the drop, but I could be wrong. I think it's Massive. So the name Come None, Come All came from the idea that a carnival, I feel like, was a grandiose enough place for you to hear someone say, "Come one, come all to this carnival." But there's this kind of overall creepy atmosphere going on to bring you into the EP, and so I decided that no one should be coming to this carnival, and so I decided to play off of that and say Come None, Come All. It was also my first kind of foray into a rhythm-esque thing, although I took a more 6/8 type feel to this one rather than a 4/4 feel that rhythm tends to have. But I had a lot of fun with this one. It, I think, ended up being one of my favorites, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Alright, moving on to Ambush. This may be one of the most packed ones on the album, probably the most packed one, the most chaotic one that's going on in the EP. Like I said, this was the first one that I started working on, and as I kept working on this and kept trying new things with it and kept adding new basses in and new elements to the song, I realized, oh my goodness, I'm making music. It wasn't since about 4 months prior that I was really making huge progress on music. So I got really excited, and I started working more and more and more on Ambush until it became a finished product. I decided to call it Ambush because, first you had the Asian stringed instrument kind of thing, and it brings you into a kind of relaxing atmosphere, and then you realize that something is up. So the overall atmosphere was just coming at you and you weren't expecting it. It was also the second one on the album. Come None Come All was kind of supposed to lead you into this creepy atmosphere that you were putting yourself into by clicking play on this EP. And Ambush was supposed to let you know that something was happening. Alright, moving on to This Is War. I knew that if we were going to do a kind of war theme, then we should probably play on the idea of warring with the emotions and thoughts in your head that bring you down. And so I brought in Third. He did his own rap, which was a lot faster, and we took a lot of different styles to a kind of rap focused one. I wanted to have one that was less EDM-y and more hip-hop / rap focused, although there are elements. Distortion of the sub bass, for example, is a good example of the kind of EDM element that they don't use a lot in hip-hop. We both kind of played on that theme for each of our individual raps, and it worked out just as hype as it was when it was an idea in my head and not a song on SoundCloud. Me and Third were very satisfied with it, and we decided to go with it, so that's what we ended up doing, and that's how the title track of the EP came to be. Alright, coming out with probably the most surprising one of the EP given the overall atmosphere of the EP, but Victory actually was originally going to be a G-House song. I was thinking, what other styles could I bring? What other heavier styles could I bring? And so I was thinking maybe hybrid trap, maybe glitch hop / moombacore. Have I done something else in those genres on this EP? The answer was no, but then I settled on trying to make some G-House. And so I started work on it, and I started on this arpeggio at about 125 beats per minute that I thought, you know what, actually this would be really good for an indie dance track. So I slowed it down, and the arp really worked for the indie dance tempo, and so I decided, you know what, after the climax that was This Is War, let's bring it down with a resolution that's like happy. Yeah, we won the war. And so that's what Victory was supposed to be. And I had been listening to a lot of Stessie, and that's where I got a lot of the inspiration for this track was from all the listening that I was doing on Stessie, specifically songs like Friends, Ready, and Close to You. It didn't take long to make because everything was falling into place quite well, so creating Victory after creating the other 3 tracks was a victory of sorts over my writer's block problem, and it also ended up being one of my favorite songs from the EP. And finally, we have possibly the most confusing one of the 5, and that's A Blurry Silhouette. I remember after this came out, I showed it to my brother, and he listened to it. After a while, he was just like, what in the world is this? What are you doing? I meant for it to just be an outro and a kind of Marvel Studios-esque end credit scene where, you know, things end happily and everything, but then you see the end credit scene and you realize, uh-oh, something else is going on. There's some kind of new conflict that's coming up that we will have to stay tuned for next time. That was This Is War EP. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I am glad to finally get this EP vlog out. I do have a computer also now, and so hopefully I'll be able to get some music out to you guys and get some stuff like videos and such out to you guys like normal. If you haven't heard This Is War EP yet, go check it out on SoundCloud, and there's a mix on YouTube as well at soundcloud.com/chillpillofficial, chill-pill-official. It'll probably take you to a different chill pill if you don't have those dashes. And I will see you on the shelves. Chill Pill out.